I learned under Greg Capra, who is our founder and CEO of Pristine. He created the method, authored various books on trading and investing, 6-time winner of the live MoneyShow trading challenge. And the thing that's most important, in my opinion, is that he's still an active coach to our grads. The books, the awards, those are all great personal accolades, but what's going to help you the most? And the thing that's going to help you the most is that he's still active, so you're going to get to know from firsthand experience what's going on in the markets, how things are setting up, what to be expecting, are we moving higher, are we moving lower, things of that nature. So like I said, that to me is the most important thing. And just want to quickly confirm, you guys can see my my presentation, right? Yes, no? Just want to make sure. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Donna, Stacy. Thank you very much. All right, perfect. So moving along, just so you kind of get to know who you're speaking with or who's speaking to you. This is a picture of me and my little baby girl. I've been with Pristine for more than 8 years, but before becoming a trader and investor, I basically worked from the ground floor up, having the last name Capra. Greg Capra is my father, so like I said, I got into things from the ground floor and worked my way up. Graduated from the Pace University Lubin School of Business, and obviously with Greg as my father, know what the markets have to offer. So since then, I've become a member of our research department, certified instructor for a variety of different courses. So just want to let you guys know kind of who I am, where I came from, what my experience has been, and kind of what I can offer to you. Now, as other instructors have said, it is possible to lose money, and honestly, not just possible. If there is anything that I can guarantee, it's that you will lose money trading, right? There are going to be trades that don't work out. That's part of trading. It's just the way it is. The purpose or the key is to have an education where you can limit and reduce the number of losses while at the same time maximizing your reward. That's what it's all about. You have to accept the fact that losing is part of the business, right? And that's what this is. Trading is a business, and it needs to be treated as such. If you have a restaurant or any business in general, employees are a cost of doing business. Right? There are certain overheads, and with trading, lost trades, that's part of it. So embrace that. Don't look at trades that get stopped out as a failure, but rather a learning experience, because that's what it is. If you realize one thing today, realize that your future winners are locked inside your current losses. Meaning, if you can understand why it is you lost on a given trade, you can avoid doing it in the future. And maybe you don't necessarily figure out how to make money from that opportunity, but maybe you can just simply avoid it altogether in the future, and that's going to help your bottom line. So again, your future winners are locked inside of your current losses. It's always about learning. You have to be hungry to always learn more. The Pristine method is proven over time. This is a method that's been around for the last 20+ years. It has withstood the test of time. The reason that's relevant to you is because, honestly, any education that you get, whether it's trading or otherwise, any education should be timeless. It shouldn't be something that is based on what the current environment is offering. Because what's currently being offered by the market is not necessarily what's going to be offered a week from now, 2 weeks, or a month from now. The environment's going to change. We're coming into the summer doldrums. Is the volatility going to contract to the point where some of the things, some of the subjective tools that you may have been told you need to use in order to be successful, will they still work during the summer doldrums, or is this something that's just working right now? And that's the problem that I see with a lot of quote-unquote systems out there, and we'll talk a bit about that. But this is a method, as I said, that's been proven over time. You can see these two charts side by side. And here you can see the market from the early 90s, and here's the market, the Qs, from the end of 2014, beginning of 2015, and it's the same patterns. Certainly they have certain differences in terms of the quality and the volatility to them, but look, here's a PBS, or what I'll teach you in this presentation is what we call a pristine buy setup. So here it is right there, and here's a similar, not identical, but similar pattern over here. And you guys can see my mouse, correct? I just want to make sure I'm not assuming that to be true. All right, perfect. Thanks, Donna. So you can see these two patterns, not as I said identical, but similar. That's what you want to look for in a method, something that can withstand the test of time. And it's for that reason, it's because the pristine method's been able to withstand the test of time that we've been awarded through Trader Planet, which is voted on by the general public. This is not voted on by companies within the industry. This is voted on by you guys, the traders, and Pristine won for best live trading room, best newsletter, and best trading education. And that's all, again, thanks to you guys and thanks to the quality and the simplicity of the pristine method. So having said all that, virtually all active traders use technical analysis to make a trade. Right? We're all using technical analysis on some level to execute trades. And certain types of technical analysis can actually hold a trader back. You may not realize it, but there are certain limitations that certain types of analysis tools can put on us as to what we believe is possible. So you need to understand what moves price, especially intraday. If you're an intraday trader, this may be even more important, but still applicable for swing trading and even investing. So what you have to do is define a few simple, quote-unquote simple trading setups or concepts and scenarios that will help increase your odds. And that's what we're going to talk about as we continue to move on through this presentation. But before we do that, right, here we've got a bunch of different indicators that one can use, right? And you can use a combination of these indicators. You've got MACDs, trend lines, Elliott wave, RSI, Fib retracements, stochastics, etc. Now, let me ask you guys a question. What percentage of traders fail? What percentage of traders fail? We all know the going rate, but what is the percentage of traders that fail? At TR saying 99, 90%, 95%. Exactly, right? A tremendous number. Unfortunately, a tremendous number of traders will fail. Now, let me ask you another follow-up question. How many traders or novice traders, new traders, will use indicators? How many new traders coming to the market will use indicators? Right, 100%, virtually 100%. So my question is that if 90% of, or 90+% of traders are going to fail, and 90+% of traders use indicators, isn't there something wrong with that? Honestly, if these indicators really worked, shouldn't they be opposite? Shouldn't those numbers, those statistics, be opposite one another, right? But that's not the case. So there's more to trading than just throwing an indicator on here. Absolutely, yes. I mean, so, Alberts, absolutely. I will get into the method, but first you have to lay a foundation. So stick with me here, buddy, and we'll get there. I'm just laying the foundation so that you understand how the method is going to work and why, when we start looking at examples, I'm not going to be showing you fib retracements, MACDs, Elliott waves, because honestly, as you guys just told me, none of it really matters. It's not something that is going to help you towards becoming successful. Okay? Because before you know it, right, you're told you need this indicator, you need that indicator. Before you know it, you're looking at a chart that has everything on it. And then you don't know what to decide. You don't know what decisions to make. You don't know, should I be going long? Should I be going short? It becomes confusing. It becomes a handcuff, if you will, to our trading success. Here's just another graphic that I think really hits home before we really move on into the meat of this webinar. This is the trader survival rate, and this basically just reinforces what you guys just said. All traders, they start with a dream, maybe not necessarily to get rich quick, but every trader comes with the dream and desire to become successful. But unfortunately, right, 40% are only going to trade for 1 month. And 80% are going to quit within the first 2 years. So let me ask you guys, how many of you guys here are traders within the first 2 years, right? How many of you are still within your first 2 years of trading? Yes, yes, here. Excellent, excellent. All right, well, awesome. All right. So congratulations, first of all, on taking the steps to becoming a trader, and also on empowering yourself to get this education, expose yourself to these other opportunities that exist. Keep in mind, though, that only 7% remain after 5 years, and 1% can be profitable net of fees. Well, I understand the frustrations, Paul. I mean, trading is definitely a very frustrating business, potentially, if you don't know what to be looking for. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of information out there, and if you don't know what really to, as I said, be focused on, if you don't really understand what matters, what truly matters when it comes to trading, it can be frustrating. But hopefully, through this webinar, through this presentation, a lot of that frustration that you've experienced will be, resolved, and you'll start to see things almost with a new set of eyes. This was I found on the internet. I found this on the internet, so not something that I've compiled personally. So what does matter? As I said, we don't want to be focused on MACDs, RSI, etc. You have to focus on price and volume. Moving averages, while subjective, can be extremely useful. Right? They can help speed up the analysis. You have to understand support and resistance, and I don't mean from a fib retracement point of view. I mean actual support and resistance, looking to the left for the truth. Because ultimately, when you talk about fib retracements, when you talk about trend lines, there's nothing magical about them. They work when they work because they line up with actual price support to the left. When they don't work, it's because they do not line up with what truly matters. So these are some of the things we're going to be talking about, is what truly matters when it comes to trading. So the Pristine Buy Setup, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the tactics, one of the strategies that we teach in our Trading the Pristine Method 2-day course. And it's made up of really only one key piece of criteria. And it's also key to capturing All right, hold on one second, guys. It's also key to capturing robust 3 to 5 bar gains. And you can use this setup alone to trade successfully in any uptrending or sideways market environment. This is not something that we look to trade in a sideways trend. Right? We do not look to trade this pristine buy setup in a downtrend. That is the only time we don't look to do that. And we have a scoring system where we allocate 20 points to this particular setup. And the beauty of the pristine method is that you can trade this in any time frame. In fact, you can trade this with any financial instrument, whether you trade equities, ETFs, futures, Forex, it doesn't matter. So this truly is a unique method that can be applied to any environment, any instrument that you're trading, and on any time frame that you're trading from. So keep that in mind as we move forward in this presentation. So let me show you some examples. Here we have triple D. Now it honestly doesn't matter what the symbol is, but if you were interested, if you were curious, here we've got triple D. Does this look like, right, do you have a pullback here within an uptrend into a support area? Can you guys all see this, yes or no? Can you see this pullback, this multi-bar pullback into a support area, and actually what we call a bottoming tail here as well? This is a pristine buy setup. Now it does combine, right, it does combine some additional concepts with it, but this is your pristine buy setup. We would look to buy it down in this area with a 25-cent stop. And, you know, look, everybody's got to start somewhere. Maybe you're trading 200 shares. And if you manage this on up, you would make $158 profit. If you're trading 500 shares, you're looking at almost $400 in profit. And if you're trading 2,000 shares, you're looking at almost $1,600 in profit. And again, this does depend on how you manage the position, but we talk about that as well. There are a number of different ways in which one can manage a position. You can use bar by bar as a trail stop. You can manage each bar on the way up. In other words, as long as price does not rise the bar's low, you stay with the trade. Or you can use pivots. You can use price pivots for management. You can use moving averages for management. So there are a number of different ways. In fact, you could even manage using an all or nothing approach. You say, here's my target and here's my stop. I'm either going to hit my target or I'm going to get stopped out. One or the other is happening. Nothing else can occur. So again, there are a number of different ways to manage a position. We'll give you the different options or ways that you can do so. But in any case, as I said, you have to start somewhere. Here we've got BITA. You want to keep it simple. It's not about having, you know, a MACD, an RSI, stochastic, fib retracement. That's not what it's about. It's about keeping it simple. Understanding price. If you're in an uptrend, how much room is available for price to continue moving higher, and do you have an opportunity? It's about defining an opportunity within the trend with the larger time frame in your favor and then taking advantage of that opportunity. So here again, you've got a pullback, pristine buy setup, multi-bar pullback into a rising 20 MA. You've got a beautiful opportunity here to get long. And look, if you manage this even with a tight bar by bar trail, you would not have gotten out until up here around $89. So let's just say you get in around 83 and you ride it up to 89. That's a $6 move on a 50-cent stop. Right? Hopefully that's something that you can get excited about. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen every time, but this is the possibility that exists when you have it. And this isn't just getting lucky, right? This is about having a method, an approach, a systematic approach that is proven over time. So look, whether you're trading 200 shares or 2,000 shares, you can make anywhere from $1,200 on 200 shares to $12,000 on 2,000 shares, all with just a 50-cent stop. Right? Like I said, this is 6 times your risk. So put another way, if you're risking, let's just say you're risking $100, you make $600 on this move. So you have to know what to be looking for, and you have to be prepared for it. Here, this is INCY, I-N-C-Y. Again, the symbol doesn't really matter, but look, this is just a simple, easy trade. This is not necessarily the Pristine Buy Setup, but this is another pattern that we talk about. Beautiful gap up above this consolidation. We're now in an uptrend. You've got a wide range bar igniting this move higher. So you're going to want to play that momentum. You're going to want to catch the next train if you miss this opportunity. So you get on board here on this INCY, right? You get on board here, and you get an easy 2R trade. This is a no pain gain, easy move higher. And these opportunities happen day in and day out. I mean, Juniper, for example, today, Juniper was a great opportunity where you had a nice strong move out of the gate, and then it consolidated into 1030 or so, and then broke out and went higher. Tiffany gapping up, right? Cleared a bunch of resistance, negated a whole bunch of resistance, which you have to understand the psychology in that. You have to understand how traders are going to react. And then having a plan to know what to do. Do you want to enter right away at the open, or should you wait the first 30 minutes? Those are important questions to know ahead of time as well. And these are things that we cover in our trading room day in and day out. And I'll talk a little bit more about that here a little later. Like I said, it doesn't matter what you trade. Here's an example of EUR-AUD dollar, and this is a pristine sell setup. So we have opportunities, we have strategies for going short just as we do for going long. The pristine buy setup is for going long. The pristine sell setup is for going short. So here within our point system, as it says, this is a 70-point play. You cannot afford to miss these opportunities. It cannot happen. And like I said, it doesn't matter what the time frame is. It doesn't matter what the symbol is, what it is at all, what the instrument is. If you can read a chart, you can trade the pristine method. That's honestly all that's involved. Yeah, you might have a moving average. Yeah, you maybe want to look at volume. Okay, fine. Right? We talk about those things and how to use them to your advantage, but you don't need anything more than that, because anything more is just smoke and mirrors. It's confusion. I mean, honestly, guys, you tell me, what are all of those indicators that we looked at earlier, what are they all based on? You guys tell me. Right, they're based on the past and based on price. So if you can read price, you really don't need those other tools. As I said, they're if anything just becoming more confusing and also getting you into a trade after the fact. They're getting you in late. If they're reflecting information that price has already told us, you're getting in late. So why not go directly to the source and just embrace the information it's giving you? Here's a chart of TKMR. Again, can you see the PBS pullback after a strong gap? Right? You buy it over here, slow and steady, right? This one didn't rip. They don't always just rip right away and move in your favor, but having patience, knowing what's possible, knowing that the larger time frame is in your favor. This play alone, of course, depending on how many shares you're trading, could have made you over $1,000. And look, there's nothing fancy about this. It's not about being fancy. And I honestly, that's what a lot of these indicators, they look more fancy than anything. You almost think that, well, how can I trade without those things? But the truth is, it's not just possible, but empowering if you can embrace what I'm saying. That you don't need those indicators. But you know what, guys? Honestly, it's not even so much about how much something moves. It's not about, looking at a move that just rips and goes on for a huge winner. Because honestly, if you focus on consistency and your goal is to make 50 cents a day, and look, I'm not naive. I know that sometimes certain days are harder than others. But if you can pull 50 cents a day on average, you can reach your goals. And look, you got to start small. You got to crawl before you walk and walk before you run. But look at this. If you just trade 100 shares per trade and you look to pull 50 cents a day, that's $50 a day, and over the course of a year, $12,000. Look, if you're just maybe trying to transition into trading, seeing if this is something you can do, an extra $12,000, you can definitely do something with that. Right? And then as you build that confidence, you're going to bump it up to 200 shares per trade. Still looking to make 50 cents a day. Now you're talking $24,000 a year. And eventually you get so confident that you're simply going to say, you know what? I'm still going to look to make that same 50 cents a day, but now I'm going to be trading 1,000 shares per trade. And if you can average that 50 cents a day, you're talking six-figure income. So it's not so much about how long can you hold on to a move for, or can you get those moves that just go for multiple bars moving higher. If you can average 50 cents a day, you can make a living at trading. Do I personally trade options? I do not, but the method does work with options. And we have a home study that applies the Pristine method with options trading. No, this is not Larry Gaines yet. He'll be coming on, I suppose, after me, or 3:15 Eastern. Yeah, so he'll be coming on after this webinar is finished. SCTY, here's another example. Like I said, it's not about hitting home runs. It's about developing consistency. So here it is. Can you guys see the PBS early in the morning? Can you see the Pristine Buy Setup that we've been talking about? Yes or no? Right. You should be able to. Right? You should be able to see the buy setup. And honestly, if you can see it, you're already on your way to becoming a Pristine trained trader. So here's your PBS, and this is about a 55-cent stop. If you trade 500 shares, you're making a $1,500 profit. Right? 2,000 shares, $6,000 profit. And again, this is even with a tight bar-by-bar management, you can get a real nice move out of this. It's about having a method that you can be confident in, and one that has, as I said earlier, withstood the test of time, because that's really what matters, is whether or not this is something that isn't just going to work today and tomorrow, but for the long haul. Like I said, Pristine's been doing this for the last 20 years, and the method hasn't changed. The environment has. Markets have gone up, down, and sideways, but the method hasn't changed. The only thing that changes is whether we're going long or short. That's the only. Here we have Under Armour. Again, pullback, PBS. Now, could you have bought this breakout shortly after the open? Absolutely, and you could have made a nice little move in that. Maybe you pull 50 cents out of that, and you're done. You know, you're moving on to the next trade. Or, look, maybe you pull 50 cents out on this trade at the open, and you're done for the day. That's your 50 cents a day that you're looking to make. You could be done. You get your pullback into support. Look, I don't care if there's a trend line here. I don't care if there's a fib retracement level here. While those things may help add additional confidence to what I'm looking at, I don't need those things. All I need is what you see on the chart. A pullback into support. The 20 MA there is definitely going to be helpful, but I don't even need that necessarily. So I'm going to look to buy this and ride it on up. You know, you buy it down here, play it up to the whole number, and be done. Or look to re-enter, or even next breakout. So it's all about defining your opportunity and knowing where to look. Right? How do you know to be looking at Under Armour on this particular day versus something else? Well, that's part of scanning, and that's part of what's done every day in our trading room, which, like I said, I'll talk a little bit about that later, but I do have an offer for you guys for a free month to the trading room. I'll tell you about that here in just a few minutes because I don't have a tremendous amount more time, maybe another 10 minutes or so. Bottom line, guys, this is all you need. Here it is, over a 70-point play. As I said earlier, you cannot miss these. You cannot miss these opportunities. And you know what? This isn't the only opportunity that existed on the chart. You could have played this breakout over here as well. Playing this breakout over here would have been just as lucrative, if not maybe a little bit more. And you don't need anything else to tell you that these opportunities exist. I don't have a trend line on here. I don't have a MACD, an RSI, you know, fib retracements, Bollinger Bands, whatever. None of that is here because none of it, in my opinion, matters. This is what matters, price action. Because price action is the reflection of our thoughts, you and I, and how we feel at any one given moment in time. That's what matters, is what's happening right now, and is that in alignment with the overall trend and where price still has the potential to move to. That is the only thing I care about. So you can quite literally, with this Pristine method and using the Pristine Buy Setup as well as additional amplifiers that we talk about, you can quite literally add your way to profits. Because you would have known ahead of time that this area that I have circled, this is a 90-point play within our scoring system. These are the ones that you cannot miss. And like I said, maybe you don't catch this whole move from $3 up to $5. Fine. Can you just get it from $3 to $3.50? Can you pull your 50 cents out of it? Or whatever it is you're looking to gain? If so, that's all you need. It's not about capturing the bottom of the move to the top of the move. It's about getting the meat out of the move and being consistent in doing so. That's what matters. Right. So guys, like I was telling you, we've got our trading room, the Pristine Method Black Room. We call it the Black Room because it's always in the black. Right? Here's a sample of what they did last week. Right? These are trades that were called on Thursday of last week. And look, we have winners and we have losers. That's part of trading, as I said. It's not about any one given trade, but it's about the overall result. Whoops. It's about the overall result. And the overall result on this day was $16,000 if you were using $1,000 risk. For the week, it ended up being a great week last week. They were up $41,000 last week based on $1,000 risk. So if this is a room that you are interested in getting into, we will more than happily give you a full month at absolutely no cost. Right? And I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So year to date, the room's only had one losing week. Anyone duplicating the moderators, if you literally just did exactly as they did, traded the trade exactly as they called it, and managed it exactly as they did, you would be up over $87,000 on only $300 risk per trade. If that's something that you can get excited about, then this is the room to be in. And again, like I said, it's just using this pristine method, this simple approach, focusing on what truly matters. So we have morning sessions and all-day sessions available for this particular room, but if you sign up by this Friday, you can get the first month free, and it's not going to auto-renew. This is just, absolutely no strings attached. We don't need any kind of credit card. First month free, and if you want to continue, we're more than happy to have you as part of the room. All you have to do, right, is email support@pristine.com and put in the subject free month, and we'll get you set up. We'll get you started beginning next week, or if you want to get started sooner, if you want to get started tomorrow or Friday, we can do that for you, of course. Otherwise, we can get you started on Monday, start brand new month, and like I said, this is valid until this Friday. So the offer expires this Friday. If you want to get into this room, I mean, guys, they start with a pre-market review, talking about where the market is heading, what's gapping up, what's gapping down, creating a watch list for the open. There are trades being called every single moment of the day, essentially, right? You saw that breakdown I showed you a moment ago. There were trades right at the open. There were trades, within the first 2 hours of the day. There were trades over lunch. There were trades in the later part of the afternoon. If there's an opportunity to make money, we're going to look to take advantage of it. So again, you want a free month? Like I said, we don't need any credit cards. There's no auto renew that's going to happen afterwards. It's entirely free, no strings attached. Just email support@pristine.com with the subject free month, and we'll get you set up. But guys, let me just leave you with one final thought. Do you need an education? Obviously, you're here today to get your little nuggets of information. There are only two ways to get an education in this business. The first one is from the market, and the cost is unknown. It's different for everybody, but it's extremely expensive, right? Especially if you don't know what you're doing. Or you can learn a method that has withstood the test of time, like the one I'm talking to you about. But the bottom line is that either way, you will get an education, right? From the School of Hard Knocks or from the School of Pristine. That is up to you. So if anybody has any questions, I have just a couple more minutes. I'm happy to answer any questions. Like I said, if you want to take advantage of that free month, just simply email support@pristine.com. We do have a course, Donna, but for what I'm talking about today is just an offer for the trading room. Right, just so you can get into the trading room, see the method in action. The examples that I was showing you earlier, those are some of those were calls from the room. Others were just examples that that worked out nicely. But look, like I said, there are going to be losses along the way. That's part of the business. It's about having a larger number of winning trades versus those losing trades. How many trades are usually taken in the morning session? Well, it really depends on how the market is setting up and things of that nature. What's setting up, how clean are the gaps, are they gapping into support or resistance, things of that nature. But let me just go back here and I'll show you from Thursday, right? From Thursday alone, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 trades called between 9:30 and before 11 o'clock. Right? There were 3 trades called during the 11 o'clock hour. So, I mean, there's more than enough opportunity. Right? These are just official trades that were called. These do not reflect any quote-unquote ideas that were put out into the room. These are trades that were officially called for our members ahead of time with an exact entry, stop, and targets. You can see trades called in the 1 o'clock hour, 2 o'clock hour. So if there's opportunity, we're all about it. Like I said, if you want to take advantage of that offer, if you sign up by this Friday, we can get you a month free into that trading room. All right, so guys, if you don't have any other questions, I want to take the moment. Oh, we got another question. Hold on. How long are you in a trade on average? It really depends on how quickly the trade is moving. But on average, I would say easily 15 minutes to upwards of 30 or more. I mean, some trades will go for an entire day, as far as a back-end target. So we'll manage it in multiple lots. The first target may be taken within the first 10 to 15 minutes. The second target maybe shortly thereafter, and then a third target taken, by the end of the day. So you need a 25. Well, if you're going to trade actively intraday, you do need it if you're going to trade a retail account. We do have a prop trading program where you do not need the $25,000 account to begin trading actively. So if you're interested in that, again, you can simply email support asking for more information in regards to that.